Hey, architecture firm owners and emerging leaders. Get ready for unparalleled insight into the development of a world-class architecture firm and a worldwide organization driving the digital transformation of the design and construction industry. With Build Smart, the podcast that's changing how our profession operates. We share the incredible stories behind innovation in the building industry with my friend and co-host, Patrick McLeamy, FAIA, former CEO of the international architecture firm, HOK.
You know, Yamasaki's office or firm lasted during his lifetime. And when he passed away, I think that was the end of the Yamasaki office. Helmut did not want that. He wanted a firm that would live out and grow beyond the founders.
In Season 1, discover the untold stories behind HOK's meteoric rise, from 150 employees in St. Louis to a powerhouse with over 1,900 staff members and 27 offices worldwide.
You know, they weren't as polite as the Kojima people. That was just boom. And anytime you have a creditor, whether it's Kojima or the bank, that wants their money, unless you can raise money someplace else, you are out of business.
Bankrupt. And hold on tight for Season 2, where Patrick takes us on a new adventure as chairman of Building Smart International, shaping the future of digital transformation in the design, construction, and operation of built assets.
Ian Howell, Ken Harold, and I, Ken was my technical representative from HOK. The three of us took a tour of Europe of 5 cities in 5 days. Very busy time.
Simply follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Smart now and uncover lessons that will transform you and your architecture firm. Hey, architecture firm owners and emerging leaders. Get ready for unparalleled insight into the development of a world-class architecture firm and a worldwide organization driving the digital transformation of the design and construction industry. With Build Smart, the podcast that's changing how our profession operates. We share the incredible stories behind innovation in the building industry with my friend and co-host, Patrick McLeamy, FAIA, former CEO of the international architecture firm, HOK.
You know, Yamasaki's office or firm lasted during his lifetime. And when he passed away, I think that was the end of the Yamasaki office. Helmut did not want that. He wanted a firm that would live out and grow beyond the founders.
In Season 1, discover the untold stories behind HOK's meteoric rise, from 150 employees in St. Louis to a powerhouse with over 1,900 staff members and 27 offices worldwide.
You know, they weren't as polite as the Kojima people. That was just boom. And anytime you have a creditor, whether it's Kojima or the bank, that wants their money, unless you can raise money someplace else, you are out of business.
Bankrupt. And hold on tight for Season 2, where Patrick takes us on a new adventure as chairman of Building Smart International, shaping the future of digital transformation in the design, construction, and operation of built assets.
Ian Howell, Ken Harold, and I, Ken was my technical representative from HOK. The three of us took a tour of Europe of 5 cities in 5 days. Very busy time.
Simply follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Smart now and uncover lessons that will transform you and your architecture firm. My name is Mark R. LePage, and you are listening to Entree Architect Podcast, where each week I speak with inspiring, passionate people who share their knowledge and expertise, all to help you build a better business as a small firm entrepreneur architect. Richard Worsham, welcome to Entree Architect Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
That's great to have you. This is an exciting one. This is not a typical guest here at Entree Architect Podcast. Although it's interesting, it sort of is a typical guest, but not really a typical guest. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to have this conversation. Richard Worsham is the co-founder and designer at Janus Motorcycles at Goshen. Is it Goshen or Goshen in Indiana?
Goshen.
Goshen, because there's a Goshen in New York where I'm from as well.
So the biblical land of honey, milk and honey.
Yeah, Goshen, Indiana. From an early age, a fascination with design and drawing paired with an ongoing interest in architecture and vehicles of all types have contributed to his co-founding of this new vehicle company. Richard holds a bachelor's degree in literature from Thomas More College and a master's degree in architecture from the University of Notre Dame. Through his background in classical design, literature, art, and architecture, Richard has found inspiration for designs, both in new innovation and invention, and in imitation of great motorcycles of the past. Richard uses hand sketches, CAD, 3D modeling, and traditional watercolor renderings to explore design concepts and document finished products. He directs the design of every aspect of the bike, from the overall concept to its distinctive details, and they are very distinctive. Everyone should go immediately to go check out janusmotorcycles.com and go see, maybe even pause this episode real quick and just peek over there and see what Richard's doing at Janus Motorcycles, and then come back and listen to the rest of this episode because they are beautiful. They are very much like the architecture that I love to design, things that look old but are really, really new and innovative. And that's what I see Janus doing. So, Richard, I'd love to start off with your origin story. How did this all start? Where did you discover your passion for what you do? And maybe you first start with your architecture background. Who or what inspired you to become an architect? And then where did the paths diverge into motorcycles, and sort of share that story as well. So what's your origin story?
Yeah. So, architecture was never very distant from me as a child. My father is an architect, and both my father and my mother have architectural history degree or art history degrees with a focus in architecture. So they actually met through historic preservation. So growing up, my father he picked up CAD, but he was always doing a lot of, hand drafts almost everything still as he was trained.
Does he still practice?
He does, yes. And when growing up, he had his own practice, a little firm in Virginia. And so we'd always kind of, he'd bring back the yellow trace of the third version and ask for our thoughts on it. So that was always just kind of growing up. That was the way things were. And when we started drawing pictures as kids, I was homeschooled with we had 4 boys, all of us, and lived out in the country and had a wonderful experience growing up. But did your mom do homeschooling? She did, yeah.
So she homeschooled 4 boys.
Yeah, well, they both were able to educate us, but
it was a mutual project.
Exactly. The benefit of a small firm is you can work when you want and not when you don't want to.
Very much so. But that's a big task to take on. That's certainly a full-time job. Yep.
Certainly was, yeah, especially with all boys. So anyway, we when we did draw, which we started doing right away, we were doing sections and plans, and that was just very interesting to us because of what we were surrounded with.
Was that part of your curriculum, or was it just part of life?
It was just. Yeah, most of our curriculum was just reading, just seeing these drawings. We would go on a trip. We were lucky enough to be able to go visit France and some places, do some European trips. And my father would bring along an architecture friend, and they would be doing watercolors or sketches, and so you'd join in. And I still have my sketch from when I think I was like 7 of La Tourette by Le Corbusier.
That's very cool. Yeah.
And so you kind of got right into it there and started drawing. But then I decided, my love of reading and of classical kind of education, I went to a small school. You mentioned Thomas More College, very small school, about 100 students at a time up in New Hampshire, and majored in literature. But it was a liberal arts education. So it was just everything kind of it was just a focus, really. It wasn't, the main focus was the humanities.
So at that point, did you have a career in mind, or were you going just for education?
I was just going for education's sake, which I'm very happy I did.
Yeah.
But by the time I was getting toward my last years there, my father had gone back to school at University of Virginia. He went from Virginia Tech to UVA, and had a professor there that he was really influential on his thinking. And he was kind of at that point getting more interested in the growing kind of recovery of more traditional architecture at that time.
Yeah.
And he was able to study some classical architecture and get some theory mainly from this guy, Carroll William Westphal. And it so happened that Bill Westphal was teaching at Notre Dame. And so I essentially went to Notre Dame because I had grown up hearing about Mr. Westphal, as they say at UVA, and his classes and the philosophy of architecture that he had. And so I basically went to Notre Dame to pick that up, and happened to do the whole studio thing as well, because that's what you do.
Right.
So Notre Dame has a master's program, much like they're kind of more common now, these 2-year programs for people that already have their bachelor's degree. And I managed to stretch it out to 3 years, but it was just wonderful. Got to spend time in Rome. And if you aren't already aware, the Notre Dame program, or if your listeners aren't aware, is pretty unique in the world, really, for its focus on traditional and classical architecture. So it's really about kind of trying to recover that in the kind of wake of a sort of, we've kind of disassociated ourselves from our past for the last 80 or more years.
Sure.
So
right.
It's a bit, you basically do everything hand drafted. All your final, presentation renderings are watercolor rendered. And I just had a blast. So
is it still today that way?
It sure is. Yep.
Yeah. So when you went to Notre Dame, was the plan, okay, I'm going to architecture school, I'm going to be an architect?
I think so. I was putting some capital into it, so that was the kind of the plan. But
and before you did that, was when you were a child with a dad as an architect and a mom with background in architecture, was it ever a thought in your mind that you would be an architect, or did your parents encourage you or discourage you from architecture?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think I really ever put too much thought into it. I think I had more plans of being an artist than anything else. I really enjoyed drawing and painting, but I never had really much formal education as an artist, other than just sketching. But I don't think I really put so much thought into it. I think probably if they pushed me one way or the other, it was probably more kind of warning me about the perils of architecture than anything else.
Yeah, and I
think the first time I think the first time I actually heard a kind of encouragement to do architecture was when I was kind of coming out of Thomas More, and my father's like, well, Bill Westphal's at Notre Dame, you might want to try and at least apply. And that's when I did. And that was the only place I applied. I was not thinking of graduate school, was not really something on my radar, except for this one opportunity. And lo and behold, I got in and was able to really enjoy that.
Yeah. All right, great. So you followed Bill Westphal or you went to Notre Dame to be educated by Bill Westphal. And so what happened from there? So you're in school and...
I was in school, really enjoying the whole process, but I also came out with a old vintage two-stroke two-wheeler, vintage of Garelli Italian bike, and that was my only transportation.
What year was it?
Oh, this was been 2007.
No, but what year was the bike?
Oh, 1978, which is like all mopeds are from 1978.
Yeah,
old Italian, and little top tank, beautiful little Italian bike, and that was my main transportation. And I found a shop out here that would service them and sort of had a little community around it. And it was kind of classic story. This is the owner of the shop was a really nice guy, and we would meet once a week and wrench and ride on the bikes. And I rode out about 15 miles out to Elkhart. And then that basically turned into in the summertime, I would work on bikes there or do custom bikes with Devin, was the owner of that business, and gradually just really made a close friendship with him. And it would turn out to be that the two of us would found Janus 4 years later.
Interesting. So was there interest in motorcycles and vehicles before that? Because I mean, what inspired you to buy that first bike?
Yeah. Well, I'd always been really interested in cars, and primarily, well, I wouldn't say that, a lot in coach work. And I had a big library of books on cars that I'd assembled as a child, and I love to draw cars, sections, and all that stuff. Yep. And that was just my favorite thing. And I had my own car brand, and its own logo, and Scuderia Gardini.
Italian.
Oh yeah. And so anyway, I never really was into motorcycles or two-wheelers. I had a bicycle, and that's about it. And
what kind of cars were you into as a kid?
I really liked Italian cars from probably the 60s and 70s. Some of the lesser known brands, and the crossovers. I think of like the weird brands like De Tomaso, the Pantera or the Mangusta, are just like, me, are just like such cool cars with Ford engines and
right. They look like Italian sports cars, but they have Ford motors, and they sort of look very angular and wedgy, much different than an Italian, much different than a Ferrari that you would imagine.
Right.
Yep.
And then also paired with Aston Martin early, or like Bentleys, the 8 liters and stuff like that are just
the big cars.
Or Bugattis. It's all over the place. But things that had a real presence, a real form, were really interesting.
How did the interest in Italian cars come from? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I picked
up a book and fell in love with them?
Yeah, probably picking up books and looking at them, and just the design. It was the design. And my father took us out in Virginia. There's a what is it called? I can't remember the name. Summit Point is a racetrack, and they do a vintage days, like mini tracks. And he would take us to that. I think we did that 2 or 3 years, and we would camp, and you could walk through the pits, and I got to see a Ferrari F40 in person, and just amazing stuff. So that's kind of, you get it. I mean, I was with real cars and at events and stuff like that, seeing them and talking to people
and smelling them.
And watching them.
The racing fuel.
Raced in anger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I forget when, growing up, my father ended up buying my mother a 1970s Vespa.
Which is a scooter. It looks like a motorcycle.
A scooter.
Yep.
Yeah. Real classic. The design of a Vespa is just iconic, beautiful. And that became sort of like maybe a kind of, we all started riding it, little 50cc Vespa, hand shift 4-speed. And from there, that was the first time I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. And then I started drawing more kind of Ducati-esque 1990s, like 748 style, full fairing motorcycles. And then it wasn't until kind of in school, I was just drawing these in my doodling and drawing. And then when we started Janus, really, or the year or two before that, I had found a website called The Vintagent. You may be familiar with Paul.
I don't know Vintage Gent. No.
Paul Dorleon. You really would love it. And everyone, if you're interested in design or anything, look up The Vintagent. It was a blog spot, just real simple blog. And he would write, he's basically the guy who at the Mecum auction introduces the bike.
Okay.
He knows all the history.
Yeah.
And he would feature these different bikes. And that's when I was just immediately, because I was studying historic architecture and classicism, I'm like, what is this bike here? And wow, why don't bikes look this good anymore? And like, kind of like a locomotive. And so that was really, right then and there, I started thinking about this. And we started off, our first bike was a 50cc kind of like Grand Prix bike, maybe from the 60s or 70s, kind of like channeling that spirit. And then immediately, as soon as I started learning more about these other bikes, I was looking at 1920s Zeniths and Brough Superiors, and just it's been that all along now.
Let's take a quick break to thank our sponsors for their support of this episode: Arcat, Studio Services Bookkeeping, FreshBooks, and Twinmotion. I'm hearing it more and more among the EntreArchitect community. Your workload is piling up. And with project conditions changing and limited time to get things done, it's good to have information at your fingertips. Arcat.com provides architects, engineers, spec writers, and contractors with the most comprehensive libraries of building product content. And it's designed so you can access it quickly and efficiently. And even better, Arcat.com is free. It's free to use and requires no registration. So visit today at Arcat.com and access the information you need now. That's Arcat.com. ARCAT.com. Studio Services Bookkeeping, a division of Charette Venture Group, provides concierge remote bookkeeping services to small firm architects. Liberate yourself from bookkeeping tasks by outsourcing to trusted professionals who understand the nuances of your industry and your firm size. You can maintain control of your finances without doing all bookkeeping tasks yourself. Studio Services Bookkeeping goes beyond traditional bookkeeping to help you manage cash flow, analyze project profitability, handle invoicing, and streamline your financial systems. Learn how to start outsourcing your bookkeeping today at ss-bookkeeping.com/EntreArchitect. And mention EntreArchitect and get 5 hours of free bookkeeping with a 6-month contract. That's ss-bookkeeping.com/EntreArchitect. When building a business you're passionate about, it's easy to feel like there aren't enough hours in the day. And if you're doing all the invoicing and accounting on your own, you're probably spending time on work you don't love. FreshBooks is built for business owners like you. It's the all-in-one accounting software that saves entrepreneurs and freelancers up to 11 hours a week. That's 11 hours that you can spend nailing a client pitch, serving your clients, or honing your craft as an architect. From building, sending, and following up on invoices, to tracking and managing expenses, to processing online payments, FreshBooks automates and simplifies all the tough and annoying parts of running your own business. It's also super easy to get up and running. And the award-winning FreshBooks support team is always available to answer questions. Try FreshBooks today for free. 30 days, no credit card required. 30 days. Go to EntreArchitect.com/FreshBooks and enter EntreArchitect in the How Did You Hear About Us section. That's EntreArchitect.com/FreshBooks and get more time back to build the business you love. What if you could visualize your building in a couple of clicks? Remove months from the design process, or create a bridge between stakeholders to solve problems before they even come up? Well, our friends at Twinmotion offer simple, real-time visualization for architects. Their state-of-the-art technology lets you view and edit your scene on the go in the same pixel-perfect quality as the final rendering. Twinmotion seamlessly integrates with other tools like SketchUp and Revit, transforming your BIM or CAD models into high-quality images, panoramas, standard or 360-degree VR videos, or presentations. No wonder it's used by industry leaders like Zaha Hadid Architects and HOK. What's more, you'll have access to the world's largest library of 3D assets to populate your scene. Sound complicated? It's not. What if I told you that Twinmotion enables anyone to present their biggest idea in the easiest way possible, regardless of previous CG experience, or that it uses drag and drop assets and the power of the Unreal Engine to truly differentiate your projects? To learn more, visit twinmotion.com or download a free trial today. Visit our exclusive URL, twinmotion.link, twinmotion.link/EntreArchitect. That's twinmotion.link/EntreArchitect to try Twinmotion for free today. Please visit our platform sponsors today and thank them for supporting you, the EntreArchitect community. Today, Janus, that's sort of the inspiration now of those bikes from the 20s and 30s, right?
Yeah, it's not a time period so much as, in retrospect, it is a time period when cars and motorcycles, I think, were really capturing the spirit the best. But it's more about, I think, the thinking that went into it at that time. So I think we can do it now. There's no reason I'm trying to prove that you can make a good looking vehicle now. But it just takes a different way of thinking about it. And so that's our goal, is to make motorcycles that capture the best in what a motorcycle can be. And so for us, it means that many people aren't going to find our bikes very attractive. You always have to pick one type of niche. And what we've done is we've taken the essence of a motorcycle or the one of the aspects of a motorcycle is that they're small. Even a Harley is smaller than a car and lighter. And they're lightweight. They're easy to hop on. They give you this visceral experience of danger, which is very real, of exposure, of the open road, all these things. And so those are the things that we feel are what we're going to focus on, is what it really is to be a motorcycle. So lightweight, lower power. So our bikes are very approachable. They're not 200 horsepower. They're appropriately powered for their weight. And then the design, really making sure that the way that the thing is made and the way that it's designed fit with the goal of what you're trying to do. So without getting too detailed, our bikes are basically handmade by Amish.
Oh yeah.
That's the simple end of it. What we do make, which is the majority of the bike, we make right here within about 20 miles of Goshen. We have about 60 different people around the county that at some point have had their hand on some aspect of the bike. All of them amazing craftspeople.
So do you outsource a bunch of the components and then bring them to one place and assemble them?
Yes. So our shop here is in an old dry cleaner. I'm sitting up in the front window right now. And what we do is assembly, really. We do sales, marketing, and assembly.
And design. You've
and of course, and the design, of course. But our factory, as we call it, is really, if it were in one spot, it would be the size of a city block here in Goshen. We're right downtown, in the downtown, behind the theater and the coffee shop. But instead, we have all these little cottagers, cottage industries around the county that are doing things like laser cutting, powder coating, polishing, sandblasting, leather work, welding and forming. Our main vendor, our main partner really, is an Amish shop that does all the welding, forming, cutting. They make our frames, fuel tanks, fenders, exhaust systems, handlebar, everything from the forks to the seat pan.
So all the fabrication, all the custom fabrication.
That's right.
What about the? Go ahead. I was just going to ask about the engines. Where do the engines come from?
Yeah, so then we kind of channel the early vehicle spirit, especially in motorcycles. Yep. So if you looked at Brough Superior or Zenith or many of these English brands, they basically they found the best engine manufacturer and they used the engine, and then they would focus their energy on the ride and the body work, etc. Sort of like a coach builder.
Yeah.
And so we leave things like suspension and wheels and the engine and the DOT lighting, stuff like that, switches to the experts, because we have not been around to really make a reliable engine. You can't just make it in 10 years and expect it to be as reliable as a Honda. So what we did was we went to a engine manufacturer in China that makes the continuation basically of the most reliable Honda motorcycle engine ever built, which is basically still powering the third world. So our goal was basically, we want an engine that's super simple, that anyone can work on without specialty tools, because we're a direct to consumer. We don't have dealers, or any vintage shop can work on. And first of all, that isn't going to have any problems. And it has a kind of history, it's air cooled. It's got this wonderful history developed by Honda, and still this kind of neat workhorse origin story of being the engine that can it's just designed to run and run and run and run, and
Right.
not really need a whole lot of maintenance. So that's, we get our shocks from Australia, a company called Icon, which you might recognize. The letters are Coney. They're the motorcycle part of Coney.
Okay.
Coney
is a shock absorber company.
They are, yes. Primarily automotive.
Automotive, yeah.
And then what else we got? Wheels come in from a specialty manufacturer, built to our spec. And so then we basically focus on everything else.
That's awesome. I love that idea that you were inspired to build this motorcycle company. You focused on the things that you're good at, designing it and marketing it and assembling it, and then found the best, outsource that you could find that would meet the requirements that you need. And you did it, and you built a motorcycle company. And I think that's so inspiring to our listeners as well, because we all have these ideas of, someday maybe I could do this. And then you think, no, that's too big, or that's crazy. I can't do that. I can't leave architecture for that. It's like, why would I do that? And so I love hearing your story about how this company works, because it sounds, I know it's not easy, but it sounds relatively simple to say, okay, I'm good at design. I'm going to design these things, and then we'll figure out a way to make those designs real.
Yeah, there's a certain level of audacity that you need to bring to it.
Sure. Yeah.
And a certain level of humility at the same time. But it's a lot of it is just not even saying I'm really good at design. It's maybe let's just try this and see what happens. So it's been a long 10 years. This will be our 10th year coming up here in December.
That's an accomplishment just in itself. It's to have any company last that long, but specifically motorcycle company, because motorcycle companies come and go.
They come and go.
Even the big brands are struggling to survive, and so what do you attribute that success, that 10 years of survival? What is it? Just you're building a good product, or maybe it's the focus on that niche? Yeah.
There's a couple of things at play. I think there's a lot of it's dedication, just perseverance, but also what we're trying to do resonates with people. We're not making some kind of bland thing. We're making something that is imbued with a lot of value before it hits the road. It's channeling a lot of beauty and meaning, and a lot of people's aspirations are, maybe they don't ride it as much as they want to, but it's answering a lot of people's desire for something that's really like meaningful. You can go buy a new, whatever, I don't know, Volkswagen that has all these electronic components. It's not an experience where you're ever going to really have a connection with that thing. And that's where those old cars, like one of my favorite books to this day is Ian Fleming's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And that car, that is it. He obviously likes cars. Well, of course he loved cars and Aston Martins, but the car itself has a spirit. And I think a lot of people like that with our bikes, is that they each one has a character. They mean something. And so that, along with some just perseverance on our end, it keeps people keep coming back. And as we grow and as we get a little bit more exposure in the motorcycle world, it continues to grow. More and more people, as soon as they learn about us, they're like, "Wait, what's going on here? Why?
Yeah.
What is that?" So, yeah.
So you appeal to a very specific target market, right? That you've selected a ideal client for your company, and you are designing bikes and marketing bikes to that segment of the larger population, right? You're not trying to be everything to everybody in motorcycles. You're trying to fit this very specific thing, for very specific people.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we're trying, of course, to keep it as wide as we can, but we're just never going to appeal to the high power sport bike crowd or the big Harley crowd or whatever. I shouldn't say that. We have lots of customers with multiple bikes, but they have a Harley that they like the 250 for zipping around town or whatever.
This fits that niche for them.
For them,
right? It's different than those other bikes.
But overall, I think there's just so many. Our goal, what I said in an early video we did, is this is a motorcycle for people that don't want to be a biker, or you don't have to be a biker. You can just swing your leg over it and go and have fun and enjoy the experience of a vehicle at its best. Yeah. Which it's a pretty wonderful thing. I mean, as horrible as the automobile is, and probably I always say that the real purpose of the automobile is probably the destruction of the planet. But if you think about the philosophical purpose of it, but if it's done right, there's an essence of what a vehicle is that's really neat. It's like chitty chitty bang bang, or some kind of level of this. The machinery it really has a beauty in itself, and that's what we're trying to do. So, yeah.
I love it. I love the whole story. I love the bikes. I think they are beautiful. Again, if you haven't gone to check the website out, it's Janus Motorcycles, JANUS motorcycles.com. Richard, what is one thing? This is an audience of small firm architects listening, and I'm sure many of them are very inspired with what you've done with Janus. What's one thing that a small firm architect can do today to build a better business for tomorrow?
I don't know. Maybe just, my background as in classicism, as well as in projects like this, is that maybe one lesson would be that it really is audacious to imitate. A lot of times we think that imitation is just copying. Oh, it's not. It's really one of the best ways we have of accessing true meaning. And of course, we don't copy. These bikes we make are not replicas.
Yeah, they're inspired.
And the buildings, we shouldn't be copying other buildings, but on some level we should. But imitation is a process by which we look to things that are really great and channel that meaning, and then make it right for our time and place. And so, to me, I'm very proud of the imitation that I do on a daily basis, and I think that more people should remember how audacious it really is to imitate. Because when you imitate, you're saying, "Hey, whoever it is, maybe as much up to Michelangelo, I'm speaking your language."
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love that answer. I think taking things from the past and seeing what was great about them, what made them what they are. How did they endure to today that we even know about what they are, right? And then taking that and, like you said, being inspired by that to build them for today in a much different time, much different environment, much different people, right? We have access to so many different things and technologies and all of that. And so specifically for Janus to look at the past of motorcycles and build a beautiful bike today for the people of today is inspiring. So thank you for that. Richard Worsham is his name. It's Worsham, if you want to look him up. Janus Motorcycles is the company, janusmotorcycles.com. You should definitely go check it out. Either whether you're into bikes or not, go check out the website. It's inspiring. Richard, thank you for sharing your story and for sharing your knowledge here today at Entre Architect Podcast.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
If you liked this episode of Entre Architect Podcast, please share a rating, write a review, and share a link to this episode with a friend. Links to all the resources we discussed today are available at the show notes for this episode found at entrearchitect.com/podcast. And thank you to ARCAT, Studio Services Bookkeeping, FreshBooks, and Twinmotion for their support of this podcast. Entree Architect is proud to be a partner with the largest, most engaged AEC multimedia network on the planet, Gable Media. We're curating thought leadership for an audience dedicated to building a better world. Listen and subscribe to all the shows at gablemedia.com. That's GABL media.com. And check out Entree Architect Academy membership. Ready to edit business resources, live monthly training for architects, business training that is, a supportive architect community, yep, it's there, and Simple Systems, our new business system program developed for small firm entrepreneur architects just like you. It's in there for you at Entree Architect Academy. It's waiting for you right there at the membership. Come join me and hundreds of your entrepreneur architect friends. Visit entrearchitect.com/join to enroll today. Be well, my friends. Be healthy, happy, safe, and secure. Thank you for listening today. Love, learn, and share what you know.
Imagine earning continuing education credits while doing exactly what you're doing right now. Well, you can. Gable Media has revolutionized the way you earn your continuing education credits with a groundbreaking approach. Forget running around town and scouring the internet for credit-worthy courses. Fulfill your CE requirements effortlessly by listening to engaging podcasts just like the one you're listening to now. Our podcasts are designed to educate, entertain, and inspire, all in a user-friendly environment. But wait, there's more. Architects, Gable Media is also approved as an AIA continuing education services provider. Upon completion, we handle everything, from reporting your hours directly to the AIA to storing your certificates in your personal Gable Media profile for your self-reporting needs. So follow the link in the show notes and start earning your credits in the most innovative and entertaining way possible with Gable Media.
Attention architects and creative minds, get ready to supercharge your brand with Build Your Brand, the podcast that's unlocking the secrets of branding success for creatives. Hey there, it's Mark Arlepage, founder of Entree Architect, and I'm inviting you to join my friend, architect marketing expert Jeff Eccles at Build Your Brand podcast, where he explores the captivating stories of the world's top brands and transforms their lessons into powerful moves for small firm architects and creatives like you. In Season 1, Jeff shares the thrilling tale of Southwest Airlines, where he dissects their journey to the summit and distills it into strategies tailor-made for you.
It's important to keep in mind that companies like Southwest compete in the real world, just like you, and face real-world challenges, just like you. You might be surprised at how similar those challenges are to the struggles that you grapple with on a day-to-day basis.
Don't miss out on your blueprint for success. Subscribe, tune in, and let's build your brand together.
You may have noticed that the very best brands in the world are also known for having somewhat unique corporate cultures. That's often the glue that holds everything together when they encounter those rough spots.
We don't do it because it inconveniences the passengers to whom we are primarily dedicated, the short haul, frequent flyer.
Follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Your Brand today. Remember, no matter the size, the journey's the same. Your brand's journey to the top starts here.